Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? I hope everybody's having a wonderful, blessed day. Stevon Lewis here, and I'm here with Chief Martin Glin.
Chief Martin Glin, Martin Chris Glin.
And we're very excited. We came to just talk to you guys and give y'all updates and just a little bit more information about what's going on and what's happening at the Phoenix Land Development Project. And like I said, I'm here again, and I'm so honored to be here with my good friend and partner, Chief Martin.
Yeah, yes.
How you doing, Chief?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. It's good to be here. You know, for those who don't know, I go back and forth between the United States and Ghana, and so I'm a chief in northern Ghana, and we're doing developments there also. But we're talking today about the Phoenix Land Development, Land Project.
And I, you know, when I found that out, when I saw you posting that, I mean, just as a person that travels to Africa a lot, I was just really just blown away, because I do know how serious they take their tribal events and tribal leadership. So just to know that you went over there and did that. So what was that like? What was the process of that?
Well, you know, it's kind of like going back and forth. So I started going to Ghana in 2021. It was still kind of during the pandemic, and I was going there dealing with real estate deals, and I had other trade businesses. And so I started talking about what I'm doing, had been doing in the United States. We had community centers here. Through Masternomics, we had this financial literacy program, so started doing the same things there. And we called it enskinment. Because you're coming to help develop, then you get enskinned, you go through the ceremonial aspect to be a chief there. So it was bestowed upon me, and I'm grateful.
And I actually, when I found out, I was like, man, let me do some research. And then that whole process that you went through, the enskinment, I mean, like, that is deep, man. What would that feel like, going through something like that? I mean, that is. I mean, if you Google it, if you look it up, and the process that he went through is the rituals, the celebration, the everything is just amazing.
Yeah, it was life changing. It's like, to be honest with you, it was very transformational. And you know, if you haven't been to any part of Africa, you should go. Right? You know, most of us, a lot of us, our ancestry comes directly from there through slavery, but it was very spiritual. It was an ancestral connection, and it was very empowering. But there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it, and that really ties into what we're doing with the Phoenix Project, because what we're doing there in northern Ghana is connecting us, diasporans or the descendants of slaves, back to that homeland. And it all deals with us having community. All deals with us having community.
And speaking about community, just a little side note, when you think about right now, you're saying descendants in our ancestry in Africa, and there's a lot of, I guess, trivial things going on with people wondering whether they're indigenous. Like, just doing my research with my family, I found out we're more indigenous than, came over, but we still black.
Right, and we still all mixed and merged together.
And regardless, we still came from Africa.
Right. We still would have came from Africa, because all life started in the continent. But even more importantly, whether some of us were here already, and some of us, but we mixed. And we went through slavery
together,
and our enemy only saw us as black, Negro, slave, whatever. So we have that experience, right? And so we still have that connection. And what we have to realize as a people is that, Africa or these African countries, it's not just a continent. There's culture there. And that's what was taken from us through slavery. So we need to learn culture.
Yeah. And anybody, especially down south, and then you go to Nigeria, you go to Ghana, and you eat collard greens and the different neck balls, and then you go over there, it's just they do it in a different way, but it tastes the same.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is very familiar. It's just done in a different style, and you can just see where the people just adapted to what they had to do. Here, they couldn't make it like that. Here, so
exactly.
But it's
we're really one people.
Exactly. But let's talk about the Phoenix Land Development, and I know your passion for the people. Just in our dealings in the past, we've always been about community and getting out, touching and talking to everybody. What was your inspiration on the Phoenix Land Development?
Well, it came, it was during COVID. If anybody knows me, you know, I've always been a community person. I've always been an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is always something that pushed me. But in 2019, I started Masternomics, which is about self-empowerment, entrepreneurship, and business, where I started teaching it. So when the pandemic hit, you know, the world was quote unquote shut down, I said, well, you know, there's got to be ways for us to control our own destiny. Like, if you can't go to a grocery store, then we need to be growing our own food. And I started looking at, you know, ways to really establish real businesses that produce things as opposed to us being consumers. And so I'm like, I'm right here in Alabama. So I started researching where was a good place to have it. My first thought was Selma, you know, because the historical aspects with the civil rights, and it's a largely black demographic. But, you know, something in my soul, you know, my wife is directly from Greene County too, and it was like, man, we need to really, Greene County is right here. So I started researching there and see all this land. I see 75-80% black population, but I see massive poverty, and so it's like, well, where there's land, there's wealth. So we just don't know how to utilize the land, turn it, monetize it, and turn it to businesses, start developing. And so that's what led me to Greene County. And I was blessed to meet a gentleman. He's passed now, but he's a visionary, and he's a spiritual founder. And his name was William Hall, and his name will be forever etched in the Phoenix Project. And he was a landowner, and he said, look, we need to grow your own food. We need our own grocery stores. We need to start with farming. And he had his land, and that's how I was blessed to be able to work out a great business deal with him and acquire 68 acres, And so that's what we're working on now. That's what we have as the foundation of this Phoenix development. But we are constantly acquiring more land. So you know, this project it's a smart city. You know, in every aspect, we want to be self-sustaining for the people and show people how we can develop and do our own, like Black Wall Street.
And speaking of Black Wall Street, I know that's one of your big inspirations too. And you also had an opportunity to visit Black Wall. I mean, this guy, he had an opportunity to actually go to Black Wall Street, walk that land, see what it is now, and I'm sure they got museums and stuff. You can see what it was back then. But just talk to us about the experience of going to Black Wall Street and just you know, taking all that in.
You know, the thing is, for anybody, you should travel. And so when you want to develop something, you should have really gain the knowledge of it. So you need to go there. So I was like, I need to go and go to, you know, to Tulsa and really learn and feel Black Wall Street, how this happened. And then you'll find O.W. Gurley, he's from Alabama, established Black Wall Street, and he established it for black people specifically. Unequivocally, the intention was for black people to have a thriving community. So I learned that, and I learned about doing business intentionally, which means it's not just all about profit or from a capitalistic mindset, but it's like having intention of setting up a business to create community. And it was a great experience. I learned so much how Black Wall Street itself was established. It's not a street. I think it was 9 blocks. It's 9 blocks in Tulsa in the Greenwood district. And I learned so much how our people were massacred, and these are our people, and they were a shining example of how you can build community with like-minded individuals. But you have to have sustainable resources. You have to have income. You have to have the business set up properly, and it has to be intentional, and then it will produce a lot of wealth.
And in being intentional, I think that's something that with all the things, all the current events and everything that's going on, we just saw the ruling in the Carmelo Anthony case. We just saw the ruling in the Rick Child case, and neither side, you know. But even going into it as a black man and just as a black individual, you kind of feel like we're not gonna win,
right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's almost like you just say, "How are they gonna screw us over this time?" Like with all the evidence that looks the way it looks, and then you get those type of turnouts, and then you find out the shady things about those people after they get acquitted. You know, but I mean, but you just see that this. And what they're doing in Alabama, in Texas, and Mississippi, the comments on the internet, comments on TikTok, like you're starting to see like this is a time that we really need each other. And your project is forward thinking already, but we got to have a safe haven. We got to have a system that works for us, by us.
And so that's why when we say community is actually common unity. And so where most of us live, we use the term black community. And unfortunately, we have a common misunderstanding of each other. A lot of us have a self-hatred of being black. And that's what's happening in the communities that we live in. But we actually live in neighborhoods because we don't own where we rest our head.
Right.
We're tenants or we're on some government assistance in a large cases, right? So in community, there has to be ownership and there has to be production of goods. I mean, we have to control the resources that come. Think about what you're talking about, that case. Not the Carmelo Anthony case, but the other case where
child.
Got shot by the Asian soldier, right? The thing is, we in our communities, we have to be the business owners, right? And so we have to have places where we feel comfortable with how we communicate, and how our young people, how they talk and how they dress, and we should be supplying our own. We should be serving our own. If we don't do that, these things will always happen, right? And then people will point out the negative parts, they say, well, they're not raised properly, this or that. And in some aspects, some of that might be true, but you can't justify taking a human being's life.
Right.
You see? So, but it starts with us, and it starts with us in community. And communities have to have principles. When we look at other races or nationalities that have, Chinatown or this race or this nationality, they have principles and values and customs that are for them and their people.
Right.
So we have to have those, right? So it's no coincidence that I end up going to Africa, because when you go there and they say, well, he's a chief, or if you was to come and you come with me, the young people are going to come and they're gonna kneel and they're gonna bow, right? It's an honor and it's respect. We have to get to that in our communities in America. If not, it's over.
Right.
So the thing is, we don't have the luxury of time anymore, right? We can look back in 40s, 50s, 60s and look at all the progress we've made, right? But in some ways, we haven't progressed economically, right? And so this project is about us having ownership. It's about us having businesses, using this land right here in Alabama, Greene County, the Black Belt, where we have access to land, where we can go in there and we can develop.
Right. And staying on that note real quick, not only, we always talk about how all this timing is going, how when you see what KIV and the Republicans are trying to do for Alabama, like all these things are lining up and we see where they're headed.
Right.
We see they're trying to throw these data centers on us. We see that they're going to make us pay these high power bills. We see they're going to the currency is going to go away.
Right.
We see all these, so it's already lining up and it's happening. It's happening in real time. So even on our side, we see all these things lining up. We see people that are happy we're boycotting. We see people that are actively saying they don't want us around. We see people, then the new law, it's just so many things lining up to where we should be like, hey, this is our time.
Right, exactly.
And we're running out of time.
Yeah. Exactly.
So not only is it our time, but we're running out of time. So it's like you got the ball, but the clock
Yeah.
And you got the ball. You know,
Right.
okay, we'll put it like this. You got the ball back.
Right. Yeah. You put it so beautifully and eloquently, right? So it's like the ball is in our court now.
Right.
So everything that people are looking at is negative, that we're complaining about, oh, they're taking away the education. The ball's in your court.
Exactly.
You have to educate your own, right? No one else should teach our history to us.
Right.
Because they're going to teach it from the perspective
of
the man with the whip in his hand.
Exactly.
Right? We have to teach history from our perspective, and it's empowering. No, we did not come from slavery.
Right.
We came from architecture. We came from science, the mathematicians. We created all of this.
Exactly.
We came from kingdoms, right? And then we were kidnapped, and this was, we were subjugated, right? And then now we've accepted a slave mindset, right?
Right.
But guess what? Even in America, we come from greatness. There's so many. That's why I like Black Wall Street. It's evident in modern history. You see the things that we can do when we come together. So we have to stop. We're not victims anymore, right? We have to have the mindset of we're going forward,
right?
And so that's what we're talking about with this project. What are we going to do right now, right? So we can build our own school, right? We can build our own hospitals. We can build our own housing, but you have to have some land first, right? You got to lay your head somewhere.
You got the hard part out of the way. That's the hardest. You got the hard part out of the way.
Yeah.
And you got a county that's got your back.
Yes, that's right.
They're looking for, and see, that's what I was talking about. Everything is lined up. They're in need of what you want to bring.
Yes, exactly.
So they're happy to assist.
Yes.
Whereas we try to do things, we try to force our way in places that people don't even want us to be.
Thank you. Exactly.
So you got that, and it's a need, and it's all those areas. They're a food desert. They're a health desert.
That's right.
They got to drive 20 miles here and there and go.
Right.
That ain't nothing but
land.
That is, you are printing gold.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to understand. We are the most valuable asset in the world. And I'm going to tell you why I say that, because we talked about this before. $1.6 trillion we spend in this country.
Crazy.
We only retain in our Black community 3%. And I'm gonna surprise you with this one. This is a little something I know. This is something new right here. I'm surprised with this one. If 500 people move to Phoenix Development, okay, 500 people move there.
Yep.
There's 47,000 Black people in Tuscaloosa County. That's losing 97% of their wealth, right? 500 people in Phoenix land will overtake, because Phoenix land will have a circulating economy. 500 people will overtake the wealth of 46,500 people in 3 years.
The math is there.
That is insane, bro.
Right. Because that shows you the power of the dollar when it circulates.
And it also shows you why they don't want us working together.
That's right.
500 people will overtake the wealth of 46,500 people in 3 years' time. With a circulating economy that you're trying to bring, that you're bringing, not trying to bring, that you're bringing to Phoenix.
That we're doing right.
That's how powerful our dollar is. That's how important it is for us to deal with each other.
That's right.
So you being against Black people is hurting your wallet.
Thank you.
If you look up what racism does to our economy, it destroys it. It destroys our economy. So just imagine if you hate your own people, you're part of that.
Yeah, I mean, you're part of the problem. You are the system.
Yeah.
You know that's keeping us down. Yeah.
So that's how important what you're trying to do is. That's how valuable we are. Black gold. Every one of us walking around is worth 97% more of what you're getting.
That's right. And to make it even simplistic, the average Black person, what do you have right now? What do you own? What do you really own when you think about that? What do you really control? You don't control your education. You don't control what's going in your body, so therefore you don't control your health, right? They don't want to give you free health care, right? They want to charge you for everything. So at some point, the best investment you have to make is in yourself. But if you just doing it yourself, we still ain't gonna make it.
Right.
But if we come together and we invest together, there's strength. So there's strength in our unity, there's strength in our numbers, right? Our money together has power.
Exactly.
You know, so it's the way we've been taught about money, right? That's why we consume. We're the number one consumers of the country.
Right.
You know, what's it? 1.6 trillion dollars. That's all just being thrown out of your community. So we have to change this mindset, and that's why we have this Phoenix land development, right? Because it's land, it's residential, it's commercial, it's agriculture, it's health, it's land for us to build thriving, sustainable community.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have an option to come in and be a part of it.
Yeah. And it shouldn't even be a hard sell.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
There are different ways to get involved, and I don't know. What do you want to say about that?
Well, so first, you know, we're giving you this information, but yes, you can be an investor and be a shareholder in the Phoenix Land Project. And like I said, you know, it's different aspects. It's actually a smart city. The houses that we are building there, they are eco-friendly, designed so we don't have to rely on a power grid.
And we're talking about beautiful modern designs.
Yeah.
We're not talking about, we're talking about beautiful modern designs.
Right, yeah.
Luxury.
Yeah, it's a look. When we say black excellence, that's what we're talking
Exactly.
about. You know, we're talking about a standard. But the excellence starts in the mind. It's through WeFunder. It's where you actually can invest in the whole project in every phase of it, and you can receive payouts. When we start the payout process, you can go to the WeFunder and it explains it to you. But you can invest as little as $100. You know, and I think what I was saying earlier is we don't own anything. We're not a part of anything, and that's because we don't do things together.
Right.
Briefly, it's not really people that run the world. It's families. It's people. It's families that hold on to certain principles and values, and then they invest and they just kept going.
Right.
And now they really control the world, so to speak, and they're part of this 1%. We have to have that mindset, right?
Exactly.
So we have to invest in something and invest in community. So you can invest in this community. You receive payouts from the agricultural farming, from the entertainment aspect, from us selling and leasing the land for the people that are residents there. But most importantly, you're a part of something, right?
Exactly.
And this is something that you can pass on to your children when they die,
right.
You know, because this project is only going to get bigger. It's only going to be worth more money, and we're only going to keep making more money, right?
Right.
So you know, you can get in at this ground level for something as small as that. For those other larger that people want to invest, we can talk to you privately.
Right.
Those you might already be in real estate in some aspect, or have more of a business acumen, understanding. Then you know we have different other ways that you could invest also. But the core is us investing in our future, investing in ourselves, and being a part owner, owning something.
Right. And I'm definitely making my investments because I see what's happening, and there are other, like you said, this project is just ongoing.
Yes.
There will be a time when the Phoenix land development is finished, but we're even looking, you know, with our coin release and that will be the currency and the governance where you will get to vote on different issues and stuff like that. It will be the governance for that project and future projects where we'll be trying to link up with other developments around the world that are trying to be sovereign. Exactly. Yeah. So this is just not trying to be facetious or but this is, if you're listening to this, if you're friends of ours, this is where you want to be right now at the beginning. Not years down the road, you know, and you missed out on so much.
Exactly.
This is where it's the most important, at the beginning. I remember, I used to tell people all the time, I had a friend of mine that I found out about Bitcoin when it was at $700, right?
Wow.
I have another friend, and I was telling him about it. He was like, I'm not doing that on it. Guess when he wanted to enter Bitcoin? After it hit 100,000.
Yeah.
He said, you think I could go ahead and get in? I said, bro.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
And what that was people just didn't believe.
Yeah.
And whether you believe in something or not doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
Exactly. and it's like and that's because we don't know where we're at. I'm talking about as a people, right? You think because we're lulled into this society where we work all day and we depend on everybody else, but America creates an illusion for us. It creates this illusion of inclusion and this false safety. But what we're seeing right now is everybody is crumbling, right? And so you need to realize where you are right now. You, whoever's watching this, needs to say, where am I at right now financially? Where am I at with my family, right? The neighbors that I'm living next to, where are they, right? Because everything is interconnected now. So this is a unique opportunity where you can take control. Exactly. You have to control something. So it's not,
and you will have ownership.
Right, exactly. You will own something. Most of us, unfortunately, so many of us, when a family member dies, we don't even have insurance, right? And so we have to have a fish fry to even bury ourselves, right? So we got to get out of that mindset. But it starts, know where you're at right now.
Right.
You got to know where you're at. But, myself, my brother here, we're people that we've been entrepreneurs our whole life, but now it's at that point in time where it's like, yeah, I might be fine, but for my people, what are we going to do as a whole?
Exactly.
What am I going to even do for the rest of my immediate family? So this is an opportunity for us to come together, right? And you can learn from the Phoenix Project. Yes, you're an investor, but you'll learn, about investing and learn about community, learn about real estate, learn about business. Like, this is a whole ecosystem.
Exactly. And then when you look at Greene County and the amazing amount of opportunities that are in that area is just phenomenal. Yeah. And you guys can be a part of it. We want you to be a part of it. We want as many of us like-minded to get this thing started, to continue the path that we're on, so that in the future we will bring more with us, because everybody's not ready to do things like this. But if you have the mindset that you know what's coming, you know what's about to happen, you're a forward-thinking person, you know that the dollar is about to decline, you know they're about to do away with it. And I read somewhere the other day that in the next year or so, they're going to make the dollar so difficult to use that you're going to have to go to their system. And it'll just look like an app or something like that, but we can do the same thing.
That's right.
We can get started before them. We can have it where our money value in our system is more valuable than the dollar. So these are the things that we can do as people. Just think about this. If 97% of our wealth is leaving our communities and we're still able to thrive on some degree, we should be dead. 3%, but we're still here. And we still got a chance. And this is our opportunity that's lining up so beautifully that if we miss this window,
I mean, the only time we have is now.
Right.
Yesterday's gone, and tomorrow may never come. What are you gonna do right now? So that's what you had to ask yourself. So this is a unique opportunity. We're gonna keep providing more information for those people that really are ready to roll now. We'll have like a separate Zoom, and we can really get into it and lay it out. Everything refined. But we're working. We're working. This is an ongoing project. We're working with developing the land right now, clearing land, making moves, real estate deals to develop this land for this community that's for us and by us. So be a part of it. And if you have certain skills, right, or if you have a business, if you're already into farming, you want to network. We need to network, right? We need to network for our grocery store. So we need We need the people that, if you're already doing some things and you know the power of networking, because it is hard when you're by yourself. We want your information. We want you to contact us,
and we want your product in our stores.
Exactly.
I mean, hey, we working it all out.
Yeah.
So it's about us, like he said, for us, by us. Let's do it. And man, thank you for your time today.
Yes, sir,
my brother. And we really real about this thing, and we gonna try our best to make it happen. So y'all have a great weekend.
See you again. Peace.